Are you ready? The Cornelia Stephanie Show Lady Boss knows what women want: to be free to speak their voice, to live in financial freedom, and build businesses that radiate wealth, leaving legacies we can be proud of. Every Friday, we bring you Lady Boss entrepreneurs that are changing the world. Joan Sharp, changing the conversation from money to vision. See you Fridays. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cornelia Stephanie Show. We're here to talk about one of our favorite subjects, and that is money. Bringing money to life and dreams together, and then have them work in unison with my co-host, Joan Sharp. Does the way that you spend and give money represent you, your dreams? Money is meant to be a tool to support your vision and your dreams. Today, we're going to talk about having the way to spend money reflect your vision and dreams. So the question is, does the way you spend and give money represent you? Let me introduce you to my beautiful co-host, Joan Sharp, from River Family Advisors. She's not just an advisor, she is a thought leader in the area of changing your money mindset. Joan encourages us to change the difficult conversations that we have that are all about money to a pleasant conversation about a shared vision, and you will better support your values, your life experiences, your legacy, and wealth. Welcome to the show, Joan.
Good afternoon, Cornelia. It's great to be here. This is our last show. We've been doing this now just over a year, and it's been great.
It's been a year, and it's been the Changing the Conversation from Money series that we've learned so much about, with which you've been sharing with us here to shift our mindset. And we know those ingrained patterns are hard to shift, but I just want to let the audience know that they can always go to the YouTube channel at Cornelia Stephanie YouTube, and also Epic Living TV, and also on your website where all the past shows are, and re-listen to some of those because they're timeless.
Yes, they are. And as we've been going through all of this, a lot has happened in the past year, and a lot of people actually are looking more at values and vision, and what's important in life. And so today we're going to talk about how do they come together. And I don't know about you, but I'm going to focus it starting on charities, because that's one place almost everybody can ground in and understand. And I don't know about you, but I know sometimes I do. And I have friends that give to charity just because a friend is asked or they feel pressure, but it doesn't mean that it's important to them.
Right. Well, how do you know, how do you know, how would you ask what, if your money is representing what's important to you? How do you know to do that?
It is, we've gotten in such ruts. It is stepping back and asking yourself, is this representing? So if I died tomorrow and I'm giving to this organization, people think that I am, I care about this cause, and actually probably is a cause they give to in your honor. Is that what you would want? And so the question, I have several questions, but one of the first ones to start with is, can you ask yourself, what does your money say about you? Look at everywhere you spend money and or tell friends, I can't afford that. And does it represent you? And so I have an example of a friend who, to help bring this home, and I hadn't talked to her much. Actually, I've talked to her, but I hadn't asked her this specifically. But she was a single mother teaching at a community college, and she was teaching international students because she really felt that they needed a lift up because they had immigrated to the U.S. They needed to learn English. They needed to learn our history and everything. And she also found that some of them were homeless when they got here. She would open her home and have them stay with her until they got on their feet. Wow. She would find homes. And then for her classes, because it was a community college, they didn't have a budget. She would get a school bus, literally a school bus, and take them to New York and then take them to DC to teach them about America. And then she felt it was, to learn about their heritage. She set up an international festival where they could share their heritage and also raise money for these trips. Now, I can tell you, when I look at that friend of mine, when she retired, she used the money that she got from sick days and vacation days that she didn't use to start a scholarship, to continue supporting what she had started. So it's just, so here is someone who obviously is very ingrained in making a difference this way. So that question once again was, what do you want your money to say about you? The next questions to ask yourself is, what does wealth mean? And really, wealth can mean many different things to different people. So what does it mean to you? And what do you want it to be as part of your legacy? That definition. What are the 3 things that give you the most fulfillment? Because that's where your dreams and visions and your expectations are being met, right? And if money was no issue, what are the top 5 ways you would spend your money? And be real on who you are and how you would do that.
These are excellent questions. I definitely want to take the questions myself and write them down and take them into my daily journal, because I think it's important to, take them into a daily practice where you can really let those values speak. Because we know that, what was true for us maybe a year ago isn't true for us today. So, it's important to honor where we are today and identify what those things mean to us today so that we can be true to who we are, right?
Yeah, it's so true. And it always evolves because we're continuing to evolve and grow as we go. It's interesting. I was talking to a friend and we were both talking about, if we had gotten married right out of college, we would definitely be divorced because of the way we've evolved. Now, maybe the person we married would have evolved in the way we were, but based on who we were hanging with, that would not have worked. So these are questions that change and evolve when you don't have children, when you have children, when you're working and you're not working. But there usually is a core part of who you are that you want to leave a legacy behind. And this really fits. What we've been talking about is vision, right?
Yes.
This fits that, talking about this. And a great way to look at this is by asking those questions, you're starting to envision your vision. And I said dreams, right? The title was, how are we going to pull our dreams and money together? Our vision is a big part of our dreams and expectations. And this just gives you a different way to look, like kind of shift the paradigm on how you're looking on how you're spending money and the decisions that you're making. And there may be areas where you feel you have to say yes, okay? That you, I really don't want to. Let me see. It might be the April 15th bill due to the IRS where we have to say yes. But there are certain things and certain friends. Actually, you may want to give to a charity for a friend because it is honoring them and why you're doing it. It may not be part of your legacy, but you want to be clear with that. And when you're doing that, and communicating it is so important, right? If we don't communicate.
Yeah, that's why I think the questions that you posed right now are really important, for yourself as an individual, but also if you're together in a couple, in a relationship, to sit down at the table together, and even the family, and bring these questions in, because in a family we work together, as a unit, and people, especially the children nowadays, teaching them these incredible values about vision, how to change the conversation from money to vision early on, is an important piece in asking these questions, shifting that mindset, and being able to, like you said, the dream, the vision, and the values, making them all work together in unison, right?
Yes. And it's amazing when you communicate these and you're authentic about it, and why and what's important to you on this, how other people will respond. And then also that people get where you're coming from and talk to you more. An example, I've given a talk using these questions, and we actually, it's fun. Everyone comes to that talk with money to donate to a charity. And everyone has a charity in mind, and everyone says why that charity is important. And then as a group, we decide on 2, maybe 3 charities out of the group that all the money will be split among. And in that, after one of those, someone let me know that they had gotten a call that evening from a cancer center at a university. And the person said, would you like to give to this? And because of going through this exercise of asking those questions and being really grounded, what's important to them, there was a specific cancer center at that university that this person gave to, not the broader one that the caller was talking about, but actually talk to the person about why, and ask them, why was this important, and listen to them, and said, it's really a great program. And I really cannot remember if it was lung cancer or whatever, that this person was very specific on, and said, I think what you're doing is great, but this is where I give, and I give to this part because of, and I think the work you're doing is great. So both people felt really good. And actually, when they were hanging up, the person who called to solicit said, thank you for sharing. You are doing a great job. It was just by being honest and not ever, putting someone down. I had someone call me once and ask if I would donate to a cause. And it happens to be, and I will say it was breast cancer. And the person knew I had it. And he was doing it for a particular thing. And I said, I think what you're doing is great. And I thank you and I appreciate it. But I have chosen this different organization for breast cancer and as where I focus my time and energy, because I want it eradicated. And that is where I focus my dollars on doing it. But I thank you for doing your part in that, so that nobody felt bad in it. And I stressed what was really important to me. So not only did I have a vision of what I want to do and where I want to be on this and what is reflecting me, but I also communicated it in a way of hearing what was important to the other person, so that they didn't feel like I didn't appreciate them and was just saying no.
Right. And you basically were able to share what was important to you because you identified it and you knew what it was by asking the questions and, matching that up. And then you were able to communicate that. And I bet you through that example, that, person who you declined and said no to, when they thanked you because they learned something in that, more than just, the thing that you said no to, but they also learned how to communicate the vision of what was important to you.
Yeah, and what's going on. Yeah, it is, and it all ties. And I'm going to say I'm going to read back these 3 questions again, because I think they're so important and easy. to do.
Mhm.
And the first one is how what do you want your money to say about you?
Mhm.
The second one is, what does wealth mean? The third one is, what are three things that give you the most fulfillment? And the last one is, if money was no issue, what are the top 5 ways you would spend your money?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to walk into, I have a method that I've come to called Surrey with C for communication. And this communication piece is, how does the person you're talking to receive information?
Mhm.
Because if you really want to get your point across, it's not how you receive information, it's how the person you're talking to
So
receive
important.
information. Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
And then envision. So by answering those questions, you're starting to envision what is important. Where do you want your legacy to be? And what do you want it to look like? Right? And how do you want people to remember you every day? And then our resources. What is the value that you're going to put towards that? And that is not just dollars, that's time. And we know money, we need to use money for things and where we are. And then implementing and doing it. And sometimes this can take a while. I can tell you my friend who I mentioned in the beginning, every decision she made whenever she was involved with nonprofits or doing something with communities or talking, it was about how can she lift someone up. And that's who she is. She was always about lifting others up around her. And people loved being around her. Still love being around her. There's 2 states fighting for her to live in. I'm just saying, people in 2 different states, right, who want her to live there. Yeah. Because of her energy and positivity in lifting people up. That is a legacy that will be, that isn't something you tell, it's how you show up every day.
Yes, I love that. Makes me want to, look her up, get to know her, because it's like, being around people like that, like, it's contagious, right?
Yeah.
The energies is infectious. So how do people work with you, Joan, on the Siri method? How can people work with you on this method?
Well, if you go to my website, www.river, R-I-V-E-R, family advisors, ADVISORS.com, there is a tab at the top that says change your conversation, because this is really working through a mindset and a conversation change that I'm asking, and around your resources. And I do personal advising, which includes a full looking at your resources, helping you implement everything. Or there's just, and I also just have coaching that we meet every other month, and you ask questions, and it does involve them. How are you moving forward? What's going on in your life? Because this just doesn't change overnight. As you may know, Cornelia, every time if someone will start with money, I'm like, no, it's not. And so there's 2 options right now for a way to work with me. And it is so fun. This is about you. This isn't about me. And really digging a deeper riverbed for a legacy every day that people will remember.
Yes, it's such a beautiful shift. It's such a beautiful paradigm shift, creating a legacy that changes the conversation from money to vision. And it is something, like you said, it takes a while to shift the habits and the patterns of the way that we used to communicate with what it is that we wanted to do for the weekend, or communicating, when we want to, go out for an evening or whatever. And when people say instead of saying, I can't afford it, or whatever it is. But it takes a while to make that shift, because we've been conditioned in a certain way for so long that now it's like communicating the vision instead of talking about money.
Yeah, and it can make you more vulnerable at first, but then it makes you more relaxed, because then people don't question like, well, do you have enough money or not? It's none of their business, because you've said, this is where I'm going and this is what I'm doing. So now you really have taken money personal again, and you have made the vision and values that are really important and where your decisions come from. And it helps you. Sometimes we get stuck and with a value that we have that can be good, but it's overtaking some of the others that may not be healthy for us. If you're communicating it, you can kind of catch it.
Yes, yes. So my goodness, it's been 1 year of beautiful conversations that we've had, lots of content we've created. Are you on your way to writing your book now? Is that what?
Yes, we are. We're starting it. We have started. I've started it, and hope is June. We'll see.
Okay, that's wonderful. I think it'll be a wonderful complement to these beautiful podcasts that we've created with this content that is timeless, and that at any point in time people can pick it up and use it for their wealth creation. Yeah. Also, let's give the audience another invite to go to your website and to contact you.
Okay, it is www.river, RIVER, family advisors, ADVISORS.com. And it's changing our conversation is the tab at the top. And you can either use personal advising, where I really go deep and into the finances with you, but I also start with communication and your envisioning of where you want to be. If we were sitting here 3 years from today, what has to happen in your life for you to feel as if you've made progress, and really help you move through that, hopefully quicker than 3 years, and organize all the resources and update estate planning. And please, everyone, I can't tell you enough how important it is to have a durable power of attorney and a medical power. It is so important. And then there is the option of the coaching, of the individual coaching, where you just check in with me every other month for an hour, and, whatever's going on in your life, how is it getting, what's going on in your life? Where's the mindset to help refocus it back onto vision, and then how your resources, meaning money and time, can support you and working on your values.
You've given us so much, Joan. Thank you so much for your beautiful gift to the world, and many blessings to you. I know I'm going to be in touch with you. I've learned so much. I've gained so much. And I'm wishing you much success on your book, and hope to see you again.
Great. Thank you, Cornelia. This has been such a pleasure, and everyone for listening on changing the conversation from money to vision to make a healthier us.
Yes. Thank you so much. And those questions that Joan posed today, make sure that you take those questions into your daily practice, and be sure to, get those answers, because they're all coming from within. Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Joan. We'll see you again next time. Take care. Right. Bye-bye. You've been listening to the Cornelia Stephanie Show, Lady Boss, Women Inspiring Women, featuring leading-edge entrepreneurs who are putting the focus on empathic leadership in today's modern-day world. Text the word Cornelia to the number 22828 and receive her weekly newsletters. For more information on Cornelia Stephanie and her extraordinary work, or to listen to past shows, go to corneliastephanie.com.
Views expressed on this program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the station, its management, or advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.